Hello everybody, so Dania here with another Age of Empires 2 interview. This time around I'll be talking with Dogao. Last week he qualified for the Redbull Wololo 2 main event, and so I will be speaking to him about his experience going through qualifiers, as well as his matches against Spring and ACCM, both of which were incredibly good. So if you wanted to check out a particular series to look back on, I would recommend those two. But anyway, here is the interview. The very first question that I want to ask you is, last time you qualified into the main event through the Hitting Top 3, right? And now you had to go through the qualifying process. Thankfully, you qualified on the first qualifier, which at the moment had something around like 250 players. This weekend, it's actually packed. I think it's going to reach somewhere around 400 or something like that. So I want to know what has been the major difference for you as a player coming into either event. Like, obviously you had more time to prepare for the first one. This time you had to go through qualifiers. How does that feel on your side as a player?
You want to know the difference between being in the qualify or being invited in the main event already?
Yeah, in terms of like, how do you schedule practice? How do you go about maybe preparing against certain opponents? That sort of thing.
No, I mean, if you are playing the qualifier, you definitely get better prepared in the main event. That's for sure, because you have to start practicing earlier, like 2 weeks before. So you definitely get to the main event better prepared if you qualify. But that's the big if, because if I would have to choose, I would always go straight to the main event, of course. But if you manage to qualify, I think you have a little edge over the other players because you are practicing for a longer time, I would say.
Nice. So the next couple of questions are about how you qualified last weekend. And I want to start off with what I thought was a pretty interesting performance from Spring. He actually brought you to a sort of map 5 to a last map, and he even forfeited one of the maps. So I want to know, like, what was your impression of Spring throughout that matchup, throughout that series? Did you think he played well? Do you think he played, up to a particularly, interesting level? Or do you think it was just, a performance that you would have expected of an opponent like him?
To be honest, I wouldn't expect me losing 2 games for him, but that's how it shows how good he played in that series. And at the same time, that series made me open my eyes for some kind of maps. Like, I remember one game when I played with him, it was Berbers versus Lithuanians in a really open map, and I was really, really ahead. And I went for 3 town centers in the beginning of the Castle Age, and then he just spammed a lot of army with Scorpions, Knights non-stop, and I end up losing the game after losing the first fight. So it kind of made me realize how to play that kind of maps. So I tried to do the same versus ACCM in the last game of the qualifier, which worked perfectly. So he really played really nice. I just feel he could have prepared more, because in one of the maps he had no idea how the map looked like. He thought it was one map with the first bush in the middle, but it was actually a lake. So he gave up the map. And also I would say my second home map was Golden Swamp. Yeah, the Golden Swamp, he wasn't prepared at all again. So, I mean, when he plays his map, the land, full army, he always plays really nice.
Nice, awesome. So then moving into the qualifying match, which was versus ACCM, obviously it was a hard-fought victory for you. And when I was watching the replays back and I saw game 2, I got worried for a second. Even though I knew the results, ACCM looked incredibly good, playing Slavs on Hideout and getting that early aggression on. And I want to know what place were you mentally at that point when you saw that very aggressive push with Siege and that sort of stuff. I want to know what was going through your head.
I honestly knew that he was going for that. He wasn't pushing with Workshop, because when you're playing Slavs on that map, it's definitely what you want to do. But I had no sieve to play that map, because My draft was really bad in that series, I feel. And I was only with Hans being left to pick, because I had other plans for the other civs and other maps. So I just tried to go for Pikeman's. 3-ton centers, Pikeman's get some eco lead, but unfortunately it didn't work. But I was expecting his push like that. I just couldn't manage to defend myself.
Awesome. So speaking about draft and strategy, one of the civs that you picked and then utilized to a really nice form was Celts. Celts were actually picked 3 times throughout the entire first qualifier. So they were a pretty rare pick. And I want to know, why did you go with them? And was this something that you had planned already? Is it something that you've had practiced a lot before the tournament?
Yeah, Celts was actually my first pick, because I felt that they are the best civ in the home map I picked, the one with the lake in the middle, because you can open Man-at-Arms straight, and the Man-at-Arms walking faster helps a lot. And then you can play with archer range and try to get the lake as well. And I don't think you can have any other civ that can do all of those things at the same time than Celts. That's why I took them first. Try to, at least.
Nice. Awesome. So now I want to ask you a sort of final question here, which is that I was watching the replay from Nico versus Miguel. They were playing on Lowlands, and I also watched yours against ACCM on Lowlands. And one of the interesting threads that I saw between the two was the sort of control, or at least the vision over the entire map area, or at least where the large resources packs were. And I'm interested to hear, like, was Lowlands a map that you practiced a lot? Was it something that you were coming in a little bit more ready for whatever ACCM was planning there? Or was it just, you know, the sort of thing that you build up through basic practice, you know, nothing specific?
I think I only played that map once with Nikov, and I remember we were having some discussions regarding the map. I also discussed the map with Miguel, and Nico was sure that humans was the best pick on that map. And when me and Miguel were discussing the same thing, we realized that Mongols would be a better pick over humans, going for Mango Dice right away, because Mango Dice destroy keep checks. Keep checks might be cheaper, the humans economy might be better, but once you get the elite Mango Dice, I think this is over. And that's exactly what happened in that game. I went for fast castle, 3-ton centers, then the castle. He did the same, and Mango Dice just killed everything. Keep checks. There's nothing humans could do in that matchup. And regarding the resources, I think you must have the vision, because you have a lot of resources around the map. And I would say that map is one of the maps that pretty much everyone will play walling, going to Castle Age and something like this, not being a really aggressive map like the other maps. So having the knowledge of where the resources are in the Post Imperial makes all the difference, so you can raid your enemy there.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Dogao, for taking the time and talking with me. I think, are you gonna be watching the games this weekend?
Yeah. I'm gonna be casting in Portuguese for the Brazilian community, so I'm gonna train all the games.
Fantastic. Well, there will be a link in the description so that people can check you out on those casting games.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me, and best of luck on the main event, mate.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
And that's the interview, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, you can check out the links in the description, as I said earlier, for Dogao's stream, as well as my socials and his socials and everybody's socials, because we get a social distance these days. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.